You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's The Bachelor After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's The Bachelor After Show.
No, this is not another episode of Grown Sexy. Hey guys, welcome to the Bachelor After Show here on AFTERBUZZ TV. It's a mega episode.
It is a mega episode, jam-packed.
Yes, we've got Shawn and Catherine, that small little wedding they had yesterday, and of course, season 18, episode 4 of Juan Pablo's journey to find true love. I'm JC.
And I'm Cathy. I didn't know. I thought you were gonna introduce me.
Okay, let's do it over.
Okay.
All right, with 27 million weekly downloads in 75 different countries, we're your one-stop, one destination for true after-show entertainment. Once again, I'm JC, and the news never looks so pretty than with Miss Cathy
you so
Cupcake
much.
Kelley. Steven, really? Really?
I thought you were introing me.
No, we'll get to you in a minute, lovely Steven, but give me a second. For the one, the only, this girl is ripping it up on the red carpet. You've seen her on Celebrified, or is it Celebrified?
Celebrified, yeah.
That one too. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Cathy Cupcake Kelley, as she's not even on screen.
I'm really self-conscious right now because I was planning on putting on my new lip gloss and then I forgot right before we got on the show. We were rushed in here and I'm like, I don't look grown sexy right now. Let's just say that.
Cathy, you'll always look grown sexy to me. Okay, that feels really awkward.
This is really awkward.
Yeah, a little bit. All right, so, and we are down a man tonight, and I got to give a quick shout out to Mr. Danny Hoyt.
Yeah, he's feeling sick.
Yeah, get well soon, brother. And no show would be complete with that closet Bachelor fan himself, the super fan. Actually, I think he's a bigger fan than all of us put together. The lovely Stephen Lemieux.
Did you just call me the closeted Bachelor fan?
I think so, man. I'm calling you out. No response. Okay, no. We're gonna crack that nut throughout this episode because we've got so much. We have now wasted too much time because we have not one but 2 episodes. Stephen, we're gonna be here till like 2 a.m. Just so you know.
He's really thrilled about that.
Yeah. So let's get into this. This is not our first
wedding rodeo.
No, we're veterans.
Yeah.
So what'd you think? You remember Sean Lowe?
Yes.
For those people tuning in for the first time, yes, the built like an Adonis god, yet slash carpenter, the man looking for love, Mr. Sean Lowe. And he found it last season with the gorgeous Catherine Giudice. There you go, pinch poke, you owe me a Coke. Okay, so.
I was expecting it to be like 110 minutes of BS and then 10 minutes of actual show. But I was surprised that it wasn't. I was actually entertained through a lot of the stuff, through the awkward lingerie shopping to the cake decorating, and it was very reminiscent of their time on The Bachelor. It seemed very produced, but it was very fun to watch for whatever reason. I don't know.
Yeah, because their journey back to Dallas. And
I think it's Catherine. Like, she just giggles all the freaking time, and like she doesn't take things seriously, and she's so relatable that's why I was entertained.
And I really related actually to Shawn more than ever last night, and just personal experience, and I think a lot of people, yes.
He's a crier.
Yes. And that was it.
Yeah.
Because he's always really calm, he's very collected. And that moment, and you could see the beauty of the moment was how excited he was. Because you always hear, like, especially on sitcoms and just general pop culture, how, the wedding is for her, and I'm just a guy, which he said throughout the episode, I just want to, get to the honeymoon suite. He just wants to say the vows. but just the excitement of marrying, getting to spend the rest of your life with your best friend. He found that person, and I absolutely love that part of the show for me. It really, because sometimes we've seen enough seasons, and we kind of say it's produced, but those cutaways, those moments where he's just, I love you, I'm so happy. You saw him beaming. And even the father, there were so many moments last night. I don't know what else stood out for you besides the lingerie and the dad getting to preside, be the minister as well. And his father did that for him. So there's tradition, yes.
There was tradition, and I liked, I thought that it was going to be actually a much more traditional wedding. It seemed like Shawn gave everything to Catherine. Like, he didn't care about anything that went on in the wedding as long as it happened. And I was expecting it to, just because of his religious background, for it to be in a church, for them to have traditional vows, for certain things to happen, and they didn't. And I was happily surprised by that. I don't know if I liked the walking down the aisle song choice. That's the one thing that I wasn't a fan of, just because the one thing at a wedding, for however many things you change, I love the wedding procession song. And okay. I love that. And whether you do a different version of that, it's just, I don't know. So
you said, and that was by Catherine's doing?
Yeah, I'm assuming that was Catherine. I don't think Shawn picked that song. And maybe they did have some sentimental thing, which it just wasn't explained on the show, which then you would have connected to it more. But that's just the wedding song, I think, is a must at weddings.
I bet in a different cut, how they cut these episodes up, I'm sure there was an explanation why she picked that song.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things, even though we got so much last night, there was so much more I wanted to see that we didn't get to see.
And I'm sure they could have fit it all in if they didn't have weird montages of, like, the beach and the hotel, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and of course, I think the funniest moment for me last night was the honeymoon suite cam. I thought that was just odd.
That was so bizarre. What was going on with that? Like, and then that awkward joke with Chris Harrison saying that he was going to be there for it. I mean, I understand, like, in the media and on our podcast even, it was talked about a lot about him being the virgin bachelor and them consummating their marriage on the wedding night finally. But it was, like, overkill last night. I thought that was, it almost went, it could have been funny, and I think that they did it so much that it was a little bit uncomfortable, because we know what's going to happen, and it was funny, and whenever Catherine joked about it, it was hilarious. But when Chris starts joking about it, they start having the honeymoon room or whatever that was called.
Yeah, that was
Consummation Station, which is hilarious. If they had just called it that, I think that would have been hilarious, but it's just, it was too much.
Well, maybe, I wonder if it was from Shawn's request, because, like we said, Shawn has always been this polished, cool, collected guy, but you saw him actually speak about his displeasure, that it slightly did bother him.
That's not the only thing that defines him, is what he said.
Right, but he talked about how it did hurt his feelings. And that's the first time I've ever seen that type of vulnerability, because he's always been on top of it. He's very even-keeled. He doesn't let things get to him. So it was interesting seeing that. And once again, showing how he's probably the best bachelor we've ever had on the whole series.
Yeah.
Just the epitome of what the essence of what the show is supposed to be about.
Yeah.
So, anything else besides the Monique Lhuillier dress, which
her dress looked phenomenal. I mean, when she was trying on dresses, I was like, that one's it. That one's it. And I never think that. Like, I'm a girl who's probably watched at least 50 episodes of Say Yes to the Dress, and I can say that there's usually only one dress that looks okay on that girl. I mean, they all look gorgeous, but there's only one dress that looks good, and you're like, that's it. She was rocking like 5 or 6 dresses that looked freaking amazing on her, and a part of me is like, yes, the dresses are great, but I think that it's her. Like, she's in amazing shape right now, like you could tell. I've never noticed how big her boobs are, but like she's got a rack on her.
Round of applause.
I mean, they highlighted that a lot
They
tonight
did.
too.
And the
or
mom
last night.
And the mom actually did call her out a
That
little
was
bit.
hilarious.
On that first dress.
Yeah.
You know, and you're right. I agree. I thought she looked stunning on every single dress.
Mm-hmm.
She wore them well. I don't know if it's Monique Lullier or if it was Catherine or a little bit of both, but
Yeah.
and the makeover even. I don't know why I'm getting into, maybe it's just because we have to talk about this episode so much, but it was even her makeover. Jose Bear. I thought her eyebrows, I know it was weird. I was like,
She had really good eyebrows.
oh God. I'm relinquishing my guy badge.
I know. But yeah, I mean, everything was working. It looked gorgeous, from the flowers to just all the things that they picked for the wedding. I'm glad that, I feel like for Ashley and JP's wedding, they highlighted the other couples too much. And we got, long packages from Tristan and Ryan and Jason and Molly. And this time, while Chris interviewed them, it was very brief, and it was more about Catherine and Shawn than the other Bachelor couples.
Absolutely. What's your favorite moment of last night's episode before we move on into tonight's? Do you have one? Do you have a couple?
I don't know. I thought, just like overall, it was very cute. They were so freaking nervous before. You could tell, like, Catherine just looked panicked. She looked like she did when they got engaged. When she was walking up in India to the final rose ceremony, she looked terrified, and that's how she looked like while they were fixing her eyelashes and like doing her lipstick. She was like,
she told her mom, come here, mom. I was like, wow.
And then you could tell, like, even when she was walking up, she was nervous, and then they start like, she says goodbye to her parents. She like looks like she almost forgot, walks up to the altar and holds Shawn's hand, and you can tell, like, it just like wiped away. And when she was giving her vows, I thought that was so freaking cute and like so her to do the whole, I hope we I hope we blind everyone with our light, and the whole light thing. I thought that was adorable. His vows were great as well. And then afterwards, like him bawling when they're walking hand in hand, like after they say I do, kiss each other, leave, him just like breaking down in tears was so freaking adorable.
Yeah. Once again, just the truth of the moment, and going off with what you said, that was my favorite part of last night's episode, was Catherine's vows. Just the honesty, just what she wrote was beautiful. I mean, even the comical part, the lightning, what was it? I think I wrote
it was perfect.
Lightning bug, love sprinkles, but
it's her personality.
Yes, but she's consumed by him. Until they can't even remember their names, she'll still remember the love that they have. But my one little thing, and I hope we see it somewhere, the ceremony, the wedding cake, the garter, we didn't see any of that. That bothered me a little bit.
And they don't have a good plan words for February, so I don't think we're gonna get any Sunday episodes.
Yeah, I think we're done with January is done.
Yeah, I did want to see the cake. I wanted to see. It was a very fast 2 hours for what it was. Like, I feel like JP and Ashley's wedding, like, there was a lot of filler stuff with other couples, and this time, and we got to see a lot more, I think. Maybe, was JP and Ashley's live? I can't remember.
No, it wasn't.
So maybe that's what it was, is they, I think that if they had cut it down or something, it would have, I don't know.
I think they did that for a reason as well, though. It was just to stop spoilers, things like that, what we saw on, like, a scoop.
What spoilers? Oh my gosh, they said yes to each other. No one ran away. It actually happened. Then Shawn put the ring on her left ring finger, and then Catherine put the other ring on his, like, what the freaking what kind of spoilers could there be from a wedding?
I'm just saying, Cathy, drive a dead man crazy. Fine, you're right. Gosh. All right. So with that said, we've, I guess, pretty much summarized what happened last night.
Yeah.
So let us know. I don't know if we're on live on AfterBuzzTV.com. I know we have a few bugs going on.
I do love Catherine already changed her name on Twitter to Catherine Lowe.
Did she?
And they posted all these really cute pictures from their wedding as well. So
she didn't do Judici /
No,
Lowe?
it's Catherine Lowe.
Wow.
I like it. It sounds good.
Think they're gonna make it? Just kidding. Okay. So that brings us what? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm moving the show along. We got to trim the fat.
Okay.
So, moving on to tonight. Juan Pablo. We have 13 girls and negative Nikki. I'm feeling like Nikki versus Kat, Nikki versus Claire. I see a lot of friction, a lot of tension tonight, but for me, the takeaway tonight was Korea. I thought it was gorgeous. I know they always spotlight the cities, but just something. I think they captured the essence of Korea since I've been there so many times. No, but it makes me want to go. What did you think of tonight?
For those of us who haven't been there, it really, it felt like we got a good sense of what Korea was. I liked all the K-pop stuff. I liked how they did a lot of very traditional things there. It wasn't just like helicopter rides to look at a pretty whatever. It was, they were going to the markets and they were doing things that, you would do if you were visiting a place like that.
A lot of eating exotic foods and all that kind of craziness. I wonder if they put on any weight while they're on that stuff, eating all those weird crabs and all that. They could probably
Girls always say that they gain weight on The Bachelor because I don't think that there's a workout facility there. There might be. I might be wrong. But I've heard, like you just have food available to you. There's nothing to do the entire day except eat, drink, and talk about the guy. So
sure, and you mentioned it while we were watching it, that you said you've never seen a season with girls with such beautiful bodies, that they're all like, not like that, they're like so super shaped.
I already talked about boobs in this episode. Now I sound like,
No, it's just, they all look fantastic.
They all have, I'm jealous of all of their bodies. Let's just say that,
They're probably drinking Slim Fast. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I do have to say that with Slim Fast, 2 weeks is all it takes to get what you really want in 14 days. The only thing higher than your hemline, than your confidence, will be your hemline. And this podcast is brought to you by Slim Fast.
Thank you, Slim Fast. Very well said. So let's get into what this dating stuff, the K-pop, and the cat show. Okay, I've said it since week 1. I've said she always seems to be on for me. Is she about the show or is she about love? What is it?
I really feel like she's about the show.
Womp, womp.
I got a very, I don't know.
I just see an interesting, is it maybe she's being edited that way? They're putting the slant, because since week 1, when I saw her come out of that car, I said, she's all about the show. The medical maybe I have something against medical sales reps. I don't, but
I think that the first week I liked her a lot. She was very confident, and she's obviously gorgeous. This time around, it seemed like she was a pageant girl and very rehearsed answers, and she's very eloquent in the way she speaks, but that it doesn't always come off as genuine. And I understand when she was in her one-on-one after she opened up about, her past and how her childhood and everything with her dad, she did seem sincere when she was crying about that and saying, I don't open up. So I was kind of wondering whether she does have those walls, and her confidence is kind of like the way that she's, I don't know, like some people use comedy to alleviate, past issues. And I was wondering if, this confident person that she portrays is because she is actually, very sad about what happened with that. And when she's dating, she is insecure.
Absolutely. You put it very well. It's a mask. It could be very well be a mask. Because
it could be, or she's also just playing the game.
Right. No, because by the same turn, we could say, well, she's a good dancer, so she's that very showy type of person. Maybe that's just her personality. I know a lot of people that are just like that, and in a show like this, of course, you need an angle to attack someone. So I'm trying to present both sides of the argument. Yeah. It's a show, but she's a great dancer. She's living it up.
I still haven't figured her out yet, and I think she's a great dancer. I feel like she does want to get attention from Juan Pablo, but which girl doesn't on this show? I don't see her, if she doesn't end up with Juan Pablo, I don't see her as the next Bachelorette, just because I don't think that a lot of girls in like middle America would relate to her, because she does have that personality where it comes off as, she might not think this way, but it comes off as, I'm better than you.
But remember, now this is only coming from what we see in the edits, and of course also that Nikki was the one bringing this up throughout the episode. About,
I think a couple other girls did as well,
okay.
yeah.
And I was going to say one last thing is the difference, because Cassandra and Nikki are both dancers. But there's a difference between the two.
They didn't really mention Cassandra's dancing tonight.
Humility is the difference between the two of them.
I noticed that though, because there were a couple shots where when they were practicing, Kat was up there, and you could see in the background like Juan Pablo and Cassandra was hitting all the moves just like Kat was, and then nothing. Like, you know, she never, and that was probably the edit as well, but I could see her being very humble and being like, oh yeah, like I love dancing, so this was right up my alley, but like, yeah, like it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and it was so cool to see like everyone just enjoying themselves. Like that's how I would see her talking about the date as opposed to
Cassandra. Well, see, and you're right, because that night there was, when they went to the night portion of the date, there was a little voiceover. And it was Cassandra's voice, and I don't remember exactly what she said, but it just sounded so genuine to me. There's a difference, you know. I feel it. I feel it from Cassandra, you know. And I've been giving her a hard time the first week. She's too young, but there is a difference between the two. So let us know what you think. If Kat's for show, or if she's in it, if she's here for the right reasons, which we heard for the first time.
Yeah. I feel like the theme of this season, last season, or Shawn's season, it was clarity. Like every season there's something else. Fairy tale, I feel like, was Dez's season. This season it's you're fake or you're awkward. That's like the running theme, is everyone is either like, they joke about how awkward they are, or they say like, this girl is so fake, this girl is so fake.
Okay.
We've heard that a lot. Well,
no, and about belonging. And that's interesting, because that was touched upon on tonight's episode about Juan Pablo, and I'm jumping ahead, but it's going off with what you said, that on his date with Charlene, that she was always having to fit in when she moved to Germany, and kind of like Juan Pablo, having to fit in when his new surroundings. So right now with what you're saying is that people always trying to have to fit in to find that fit. You know, maybe... I'm going with what you said, Cathy.
I know. You're trying.
Trying miserably. But no, not at all. So I'm just trying to think anything else. Well, in the emergence of Nikki just being like a storm cloud of negativity.
Yeah.
Or is it just she's just in it for Juan Pablo? What is it? Which of the two?
I wasn't sure tonight. It seemed like it could have been the edit, or she could have been very negative. I feel like if I was in this situation on this group date where it was dancing in front of a mall full of, you know, fans, and I'm not the best dancer.
She's not.
I'm not the best dancer.
I'm kidding.
I would say, like, I would freak out and be like, yeah, I'm like pretending to be happy and like, you know, shimmying or whatever. And then like on the inside, I'm freaking out and angry because I don't have the same skills. And there are girls that like look awesome doing these moves, and there are things that like my body doesn't do. So I completely understand that feeling. It did seem a little bit much by the end of the date, how many times that it was referred, or, you know, she just seemed angry about it. When they were performing, she didn't look like she was smiling at all. But I genuinely do believe that she would be a good, like, she does like kids, you know?
Yes.
That's the other thing, is like, later in the date, I don't know if we want to skip to this, but
absolutely.
Elise, wrong time to talk about how some of the girls in the house aren't, you know, gonna be good mothers, and I don't know why you're keeping them around. She was clearly talking about Nikki, but I honestly feel like maybe Nikki's not, like, maybe she's not the best role model for, you know, being nice to every single girl.
Right.
But I think she would do really well with kids.
She's a pediatric nurse.
I know.
And when Juan Pablo asked her...
She was so genuine about that. Like,
Yes.
when he asked her about kids, she was so genuine.
You know, the sad part is I think we devoted more time on the fact that she was a bad dancer as opposed to Juan Pablo asking her about what she thinks about kids and how she lit up and how much more important that is than any of the other stuff we saw the first 10 minutes.
And that's why she got the rose on the group date.
Well, good way to button that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Elise, not my favorite tonight, just with the... Even though I think that Nikki was wrong in, like, talking about Kat the second she left. I understand that tensions are high and whatever else, but it just seemed very weird. Like, I, for whatever reason, didn't really side with Elise tonight.
You know, and this happens every season. There's a girl that will like The Bachelor, but they're not good with the girls in the house. And remember, there are two parts to this game.
Yeah.
It's your relationship with The Bachelor and also the politics of being, you know, getting along with all the girls. Like Catherine got along with all the girls. All the girls, they tend to, except for Courtney. But
this season, and Tiara, like, this season is the first season where it looks like there's not a clear-cut villain. And maybe it's just that it hasn't presented itself yet, but it looks like, you know, the three girls that are kind of being pinpointed as that, Kat, Nikki, and Claire, seem to be the ones that people have some problems with. All of them still seem to have friends in the house as well.
Wouldn't it be refreshing, actually, if there, in the end, there wasn't really a clear-cut villain? Maybe each one...
It was just like normal girl world.
Yes, like normal life. You
Yeah.
know, we have some good sides to us and some not so good sides, especially in this type of scenario. You're in this fishbowl, and of course you're going to see the worst in people.
Yeah.
And the best. So, and someone who I've loved her from the beginning, but now I'm starting to waver a little bit because I'm quoting him. I like Charlene since day one. She's my favorite. Okay. She's not going to win.
You think?
No, because why?
Yeah, it does seem like weird editing. But then, I mean, he says that about a lot of girls. Or
No.
not. He doesn't say she's my favorite. But, like...
No.
He has really liked her, and it's very apparent.
Yeah, so let's dive into Are You My Soulmate?
Yes.
So I know I've been on the Charlene bandwagon, and you and Danny have been kind of like, eh. Any changes? Are you feeling her more or pretty much the same?
I really like her. I feel like she's sincere, and that's a lot of the reason. She's also gorgeous. She is a little bit awkward, but I am at times as well, so I totally get that. I don't know. I feel like she also has a lot of walls up. And I don't know that they're a good fit for each other just in what she said tonight about having a past. It wasn't even, you know, she's never thought about it and she has been around kids but just, you know, hasn't seen that for herself. She dated a guy with a kid and said, that's not for me.
Well, let me chime in there. I don't know if she said that. She actually, what she didn't like about it was because she
had that first.
That first.
Yeah.
So in a way, I didn't see that as a bad thing. Bad for Juan Pablo and their situation, but maybe she's grown from that point to where she's at now. But what I see is that she deep down inside she does want it. I would say she does want it. She's just been so career focused that she of course, I don't know the correct term, but she wants that first time with a lover and with her future husband or whatnot.
That's a hard feeling to overcome. Like, if someone's been, I know Juan Pablo hasn't been married before, but if someone's been married before and you never have, or they have a kid and you never have, those are big firsts. And I understand wanting to share that with your partner. I want to say that there was more to this conversation that they cut out because I don't see her saying that and then him immediately giving her the rose. I feel like there was at least one sentence, if not more, conversation where she said that she did grow from it. Otherwise, I don't really see him. Like, I feel like he would want an explanation.
Sure. You know, and one thing aside from the deep, heavy issues we've been talking about, but they're overall, like, fun. I don't pick up a lot of fun between them, and the fact that Chelsea in between their date, they did an aside with Chelsea, and she said that Charlene said she's bored by him, And these kind of little statements, is that just to throw us off? And I'm buying it right now because I'm like, they don't seem like they could just like goof off. They showed a little bit of it, but to me, it didn't seem like enough. To me, she seems like quite the intellectual.
She is definitely an intellectual, but I mean, she said it takes her a while to open up, and I completely understand that. I feel like I'm that way in relationships as well. But I don't know if it's... I've also experienced a lot of people who are like, oh my gosh, I'm so fun, I'm so goofy. And then when you finally see them letting loose, they're like a normal person. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. No, but okay, we have to talk. We talked about this while we were watching it.
Yeah.
The kiss.
It was still a little awkward.
What was with the hand thing? What was with the hand in the mouth thing? I hope he like put antibacterial soap on that or something. She put like her hand in his mouth. And...
I don't think it was in his mouth. I think it was like right here. It was like a chin, like holding his chin thing.
But you were saying that he was. You could see he's kind of coaching her a little.
Do you want me to actually say that? I wasn't gonna say it on the show, but yeah.
Oh.
No. So it seemed like they did have a first awkward kiss last week, and he addressed that. And then this week, it just kind of seemed like. And I've talked to friends who have done this with guys before, so she like went in for the kiss. It was still maybe a little bit awkward, and so what he did is he's the very central person. So he, she had her hand on his chin, and so he takes his hands, puts them on her face, so he like kind of guides her. And then when she finally let her hand off his chin, he like put his hand behind her neck and then like one on her waist, and then he could still like guide her where to go, kind of with her head.
Such strategy for a single kiss, my God.
Yeah.
No, but now okay.
He does really, really like her, though.
And that's what I was going to say, because you said, I get you from the first time I saw you. How does he get her? No, he's hot for her. That's it. He's attracted to her. He thinks she's smoking. And hopefully we'll see what's there once it wears off. Mm-hmm. I mean, do you see them being happy together if she would get the final rose?
Yes.
Really?
I think that she would open up a lot, and I feel like he wants an intelligent woman who is worldly, and I feel like her awkwardness sometimes is, it's coy to guys. Like, because she is so awkward with her feelings sometimes, it comes across as disinterest. And then the guy's like, oh, wait, is she not into me? And then they then want her more.
Yep.
And then, she is very sincere, though, so it's not that way.
Okay, all right. So you're saying the fact that she called him a smartass on the date, that just riled him up. And,
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Teasing him a little bit.
Okay, I'll give you that one. So, and of course she got the rose, and she'll be here for hopefully weeks to come.
Yeah.
So what do we have left? Oh, we have date 2.
Oh,
what?
Well, no. I do have to mention, this is the first of 2 times tonight where he called a girl Bea beautiful, and they asked what he said. That is one of the first words in Spanish that people learn.
Yeah, next to cerveza. Sure.
Hola.
Yeah.
Next to beer. Yes, I do know that one. But yeah, I feel like beautiful is one of the first things that you learn.
And you called it out perfectly with someone as worldly as Charlene. Wouldn't she know, especially since Italian bella,
Exactly.
Spanish bella? Absolutely. So.
Yeah.
So she was playing around with him too?
I don't know if it was playing around or she just didn't hear him or what it was, but it was like really weird.
So maybe they need language lessons in the future.
Andy seems like a smart girl, she also asked.
Yeah, so, which brings me to the next date, the group date, where we have the rest of the girls, and we've got Andy, and we've got Claire, and we've got Renee, and Cathy. No, that's you. I have your name in my notes.
What?
Well, just because an observation that you made. But I noticed that right there, Andy brings up the fact about Claire being territorial. And we start seeing the emergence of the new baddie. I love how they're baddies now, Nikki and Claire. And what's the deal with Claire? Does she need not enough loving? What's going on? I mean, she's been desperate for another date because she hasn't had a date with him all the way since week 2.
The first date, though. It was the first date.
2 weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks ago, but when you're in a house and I would say that if I went on a first date outside of The Bachelor, if I went on a first date and didn't go on a second date within like a week, or they didn't plan one, I would like kind of be like, okay, this guy's not interested in me.
When there's 20 other girls there.
When there are group dates and there are girls that he's sent home, why not? Like, that's the thing, is if he has this power as the Bachelor, he can put girls that he likes on every, like on dates every single week. Like, if there's group dates, there's an opportunity. If he only had 2 one-on-one dates every week, I could understand why you wouldn't get one that week. But he's got 8 girls on a date.
All right, fine. Gosh, this is battle of the sexes tonight, I think.
Yeah.
And you're always you're correcting me, and you're right. I hate it. Okay, so piranha pedicures, and what do you think?
Oh my gosh,
you lit up during this date because they were on that duck boat.
Oh my gosh, they were on duck boats? That was like the coolest thing that I've seen since the car boat. They are like bringing it this season with the cool stuff.
I think you would just want to go on this season because of the cool dates, not necessarily because I know.
I actually wrote down, and I wasn't going to share this. I thought it was really funny though when I wrote it. JP, Juan Pablo showering does nothing for my lady bits.
I hope you guys got that listening at home.
No, because like he was showering, and I was like, meh. Okay. I mean, he's like, yeah, whatever.
Well, that's good. It gives you an unbiased way to look at the show.
Yeah.
That's what we are. We talk about the show and let everyone discuss.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on to overall my perception of Renee.
Yeah.
Who I think she's wonderful, but just I don't see it between them. And I know fans have written to me, like Scott McDougal sends me messages. He loves Renee.
I really like Renee, and I felt like their body language while they were having one-on-one time was very good. He was, holding her and whatever else. He's definitely using that not kissing girls as a cop-out for his daughter as a cop-out. He just doesn't want to kiss them.
So you don't. So if he didn't have this rule tonight, he would have made out with Renee. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
I think that he might have made out with Renee, but it was clearly not something plaguing his mind the past 2 weeks, because at that soccer date he went back to back like make out, and tonight
he doesn't mind making out with Charlene.
Yeah. Or
Claire. So, and he denies Renee, but then he made out with Cassandra because of the mom thing, and I was just. I think that he likes her, and he thinks this girl is perfect for me on paper, so I should probably keep her around to like give it a shot, because maybe these other relationships are just lost and she's what I really need. But I don't think that she is the front runner by any means. So that's, in the end, that's going to weigh on him, because his vow on the mothers this season was to let them go. They say that every season. Right. You know the first night who who the top 3 are, so. Okay. So then this brings me, we've talked so much about Charlene and how she challenges Juan Pablo. I say JP, but they don't say JP. I feel like they would if they didn't have JP and Ashley. I've got so many Juan Pablo, JP. Okay, but Andy, Charlene challenges Juan Pablo. Well, Andy did the same tonight and riled him up as well, challenging his dancing skills, calling him out a little bit. And you could see that, and they didn't have to kiss for us to see the intimacy between the two of them. Yeah. It was like a pillow talk. He really wanted to kiss her too. You could tell. There was this point where she put her head on, she rested. They were laying back. They were so comfortable. And then they both, they laid down, and she put her head kind of she was being held by him, and he was just like, ay, ay, ay. He really, really, they have chemistry. Okay. All right. He really likes her. So it looks like it's this big thing between Charlene and Andy and Claire. I'm starting to see these final 4 or 5. Yeah. Because the same cannot be said for the next person who did not receive a kiss and she took it the wrong way. Did this get her axed off the show tonight? Lauren S. I don't
I think that it did get her axed off the show, but I feel like she would have gone maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks longer, but I don't think that she would have made it that far, because clearly, like, you know, he has this chemistry with other girls that he didn't have with her, but it was also kind of, I blame Juan Pablo for this because he uses that as I don't want to kiss that many girls because of my daughter thing. I think that he does that to not make girls feel as bad, but he's doing the opposite because they know that he's lying.
Right.
Like, Lauren knows that she was counting, like, he's kissed 6 girls in the house and he just chooses not to kiss you. That's an awful feeling. You feel like you're not attractive, and it's not, you know, it might not be because of this guy that she was crying. It might just be she feels like, you know, what do these other girls have that I don't? Like, I must not be pretty enough. I'm not special enough, whatever that is. That's why she was crying, not because she's in love with him and she got sent home.
So his ego.
Yeah.
So, and it's, once again, it's funny, on tonight's episode, they played out each scenario, how one person did it the right way and one did it the not so right way. Because Renee was denied as well, and she played it perfectly, in my opinion, and she's still here.
But I think she was also second guessing in her mind. She's like, if I didn't say that about my son, and not wanting him to see me kiss on the show, would he have kissed me? She was probably like, she wanted the kiss.
Sure, of course she did. Of course she did. But you also got to be a little smart in the world of dating, in the game, and on The Bachelor, and just in general. I think that it's gonna, you know, it's just the way she handles situations.
She's also very confident in what she is, or, you know, who she is, what she is.
Yeah, no, and it's about doing things the right way. And I will say that about Renee and even Charlene tonight. I'm moving on to the cocktail party and the rose ceremony, where Charlene, I think it was a VO, where they had made an agreement. The girls that had received a rose, they weren't going to steal more time from JP from the other girls. Okay, why you give me that look?
When has that happened ever?
Well,
why? Why would they do that? Like, I don't know. Like, I completely understand maybe not taking up as much time, but taking a minute or two to just, like, have some alone time, even if you got a rose. Why? Just because you have a rose doesn't mean that you're automatically the one. So you want as much time with this person if you're going to get engaged to them in 4 weeks.
Okay, so then maybe because Charlene said that, maybe it's because she has her own little confidence within her that she says, okay, I know, we've got something, so I have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
I think it's more so that, because obviously Nikki took the initiative, and she had they had the stalker cam on her, and good or bad on Nikki? Obviously, it seems like you're okay with that.
I think I was okay with it. I wish that it had been towards the end of the night so that the other girls got more time. I don't think that he would have gone the entire night and not given a girl time.
Right.
You know?
So let it play out.
So yeah, she shouldn't have gone up there that early and interrupted someone else, but I'm sure that was a little bit of producer coaxing. And
of course.
I just thought Elise said a statement. I don't know whether it was at the cocktail party or on the group date, but she said, I would never have Nikki around my child. And she referenced how immature she was and not a good role model. I just thought that was a really bold statement. And maybe there are other things that Nikki did that we didn't see in the house, but it just seemed like you really hate this girl. And going back to, I know we talked about Shawn and Catherine. Did anyone ever say that about Catherine last season? No.
No. So that's why I don't see. There's just such a scope of opinion on Nikki that it's too much for me. I want someone even keeled, some stability, and someone like, she's been the court jester this season, and it was Kelly.
Oh my gosh, Kelly with the one-liners. Hilarious.
She's fantastic. She's stuck in the middle between the two girls. Yes. I think we'll see more of Kelly, I think.
She, on Twitter tonight, she wrote, #Kelling it.
Womp womp.
I love it. That's hilarious. She's funny.
Any final
And then I was going to say also, Kelly and Andy, their friendship tonight was hilarious when they were recapping. They were doing Claire's throwing up of the octopus or whatever. That was hilarious.
I mean, that's perfect. Okay, so it's cool. We see Andy goofing off. Mm-hmm. So that's good. Because
we know she has a sense of humor. Mm-hmm. Juan Pablo even said, he's like, not many people get my sense of humor. And he does. It's like, that doesn't happen.
So when it's all said and done, I know Andy is stunning. But if she's going to make him laugh, and I mean, because that slightly does fade away somewhat to a degree over time. Oh, somewhat. Let me explain that before I get in hot water.
That's like my number one criteria. Okay.
No, but it's the heat outside of the beauty, in the dark.
Okay.
You know, it feels that connection because Andy, like I said, she's stunning, but that personality, that goofiness, that gelling, that's all in her favor. And gosh, I'm only helping you. You're in Danny's argument. Damn it. Okay, so we got to get out of here. So, any final thoughts on who was the elimination of Elise and Lauren? I was kind of shocked. I was shocked that Elise was given the boot.
I think that he just didn't see anything with her, and it was probably if you've had such little time with that person, and they use their 5 minutes of the second or third time that you've seen them to talk about other girls.
And that always ends up bad.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If he barely knew anything about her because they'd only been on group dates, and then you use that time.
We barely know anything about Danielle, though. I have yet to hear anything. I hope she gets a one-on-one.
It might just be an edit, though. You know, they might have great conversations, and we never see any of them.
I hope so. I'm going to have to look on the extras. But, you know, in coupling with what you said about Elise sucks. Her mama's dream. I mean, she really wanted this, but she said something at the end, which, you know, going on the tails of what you said earlier about Nikki, because I assume that's who she's talking about. Negative, ugly people inside left. So maybe we're on the tip of the iceberg of the drama yet to come.
Apparently.
Okay, so any final thoughts? Because we've talked so much, we're bypassing news. Any final thoughts?
I don't know. I know that there are a bunch of girls that we didn't really talk about tonight, so apologies if there was something that we forgot. But I thought it was a good episode. It was fun.
You know, I think we actually covered it because they really didn't talk about Cassandra this week. You know, she didn't really have a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I think we pretty much, let us know, YouTube and iTunes, if we may have missed something.
I think Danielle even said something bad about
when they were doing her nails?
Nikki at one point. She said talking bad behind people's backs isn't talking bad.
Well, Cathy works
isn't
on her
a good
English.
role model for Camilla, essentially.
Okay.
That's what she said. And then, yeah, I don't know. I think, who's the girl that Danny really likes?
The one that Danny really likes, Chelsea.
Chelsea. I just thought the one thing, I mean, we didn't really see much of her tonight as well, but I thought it was so funny when they were leaving the mall. Juan Pablo, you know, grabs her hand and like pulls her like they're about to run, and she just looked so confused. She was like, "Whoa!"
But she goes along for the ride.
I know. She was very happy with, like, she's just. I love like her, you know, she loves everything. That attitude.
And that's just like Juan Pablo, I believe, from what we've seen.
Yeah.
So with that said, any predictions? Do we have the spooky music?
Who do we think is going home next week?
Ew.
And now, your
Who's going home?
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
This moment brought to you by I don't know. I'm gonna say, but she loves soccer. But I'm gonna say Allison and Danielle.
I would say those are my two picks as well.
No!
Yes, those are my two picks. And I genuinely believe that one of them would have gone home this week had it not been for Lauren trying to go for the kiss and then being really upset about it. I feel like he sent her home early because he wanted to, like, not because he just hated her. It was because he didn't want to string her along.
Okay, and definitely more Claire drama. I'm expecting to see Claire and Nikki drama. So with that said, Cathy Cupcake Kelley, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Catherine Kelley.
And you can find me at JC Rubio TV. So for Steve and Cathy, I'm JC, The Bachelor After Show. See ya.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.